Welcome to the last part. It is our finishing touches. So for this look that we did for my hen do and wedding, I didn't use loads of bronzers or blushes in powder form. I love that cream look because it just makes my skin again look more youthful and not too heavy. But what I did do is this. The difference, but when we talk about the difference between loose and pressed powder, this is a loose powder. So this is my Laura Mercier Blurring Powder in Translucent. What I did with this to try and create that more chiseled look is, if I can find it, I took a little powder puff and just gently pressed into the powder. So it looks like this. Again, back of the hand, get that excess off because we don't want the excess, we just want the powder. And I take it just under where we applied that contour earlier. Really lightly, really lightly, and down towards the mouth and just tap. And again, you don't want to drag, and then just repeat, tap it off. And again, you don't want to drag this, you just want to tap it down because you do have those little violet hairs. And if you start doing all this, those little translucent hairs that you've got under there will start to go crazy and you will notice them. And if I was applying bronzer, I'd be a little bit more generous with that and apply bronzer over the top and then I'd sweep it away just to help give that a little bit more chiseled effect. What we're going to do now is apply a little bit of this. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Glow-Gasm. What a tongue twister. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte Tilbury Glow-Gasm Beauty One Light in Pinkgasm. I'm going to take that again on that same brush that we used before and on the back of our hand do exactly the same. Blend it in. And then we are just going to tap, 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 tap just from out here by your hairline. Really specifically just here. I'm going to keep it quite tight to that little gap. We just want to bring that little bit of luminosity back to where some of that powder when we set our eyes could have got lost. I'm just going to tap that with a beauty blender and you'll see it's just brought that little bit of sparkle back to the face and it's not too harsh. I love this because it's still got that pink undertone, but it's not like pink where it knocks you out. So it's a lovely way of bringing that little bit of flush back to the skin after you've applied your setting powder under your eyes. So blush, I'm fine with my face as it is. I know it might not be picking it up on camera, but in person, it's lovely and flush and I don't feel like it needs any more. Take our finger and press down the bridge of our nose just to blend out that concealer that we did earlier. Don't forget. So from a base perspective, we're nearly done now. The only thing I'm going to do is take a pressed highlighter. I'm going to go in with the bronze shade up here. I'm just going to lightly go over those areas, the exact same areas that we went over before with our Dior Glow Star Filter and just bring that life back to the skin. And again, really lightly, holding it right at the end of the brush. The one extra place we're going to do though is down that bridge of the nose, across the tip, and just at the top of your Cupid's bow. That is such a good place to highlight, is just here. I know it looks a bit weird when you're doing it, but honestly, it makes your lips again look so much more luscious. So before we do lips, I'm just going to go back to our brows, then our eyes, and then our lips. So the finishing touches. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to take our eyebrow pencil again, and we're just going to rebrush back through those brows. And I'm just going to go lightly through with some little fine hair strokes. I don't like too harsh of a brow. So for me, just a few light hair strokes, a little bit of powder is enough, but do at this stage whatever it is that you love with your brows. So I'm literally just going back over where we did before. I'm going to do a few lines towards the front and slightly feather up here too. And then repeat on the other side. And I know it's a bit of a cheat, but because I have those like curtain bangs type things, I'm not as precious with my brows just because you can't really see them. So again, half of this is just choosing what to be picky over. For me, it's my under eyes because that is something that I am personally a little bit self-conscious around, and it's the center of your face, isn't it? So I like to focus my time on my base and on my under eyes. Whereas for some people, like I know it's your brows or it might be your lips or whatever it might be. Just focus on wherever you want to focus on. And that's what I want this to be. I want it to be where you can pick and choose. Like, this is exactly how I did my look for my hen do and my wedding. But if this isn't for you, you can pick and choose the bits out of it that you really love, or you can add your extra bit of flair in as well. Like, this is what I want this look to be. It's yours, it's for you, it's to make you feel fabulous. So just because I've done every single step the way I've done it, if you know you like things, if you want a really sharp eyeliner or you hate eyeliner, then just adjust the tutorial so it fits for you. I'm going to take a little powder and a little brush, and I'm going to take that really lightly. And again, this is the size of the brush just so you can get an idea. And we're just really lightly going to run that through. I'm hardly touching my skin at this point. And just run it through the front of my brow just to soften it up. So those brush strokes that I put in earlier, just slightly diluted. If you don't have a brow powder, just use an eyeshadow. Or if you love a constructed brow, then don't do this at all. The last thing we're going to do with brows is we are just going to run through a little bit of brow gel. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. It's just on a little spoolie, and we're just going to set those brows exactly where we want them. And again, if we'd have done this first, we would have had to be so precise, because this gel, or well, all our gels really, will catch and show any powders, anything really that gets dropped in them, and it can make them look really ashy and take away that edge of colour and the sharpness that we've gone for. So now we're just going to add a little bit of life into the skin again. So I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and what we're going to do is we're going to give it a bit of a shake, and we're going to close our eyes and douse ourselves in it. And then we're going to take our Beauty Brand blender, and we are just going to bounce over the top. And what this is going to do is, one, set the makeup, but two, add that little bit of hydration back into the skin on top of those powders that we used, even though there weren't many. Add that bit of hydration back in and just bring some life back to the skin again.